Hey everybody, it's Oliver here. I thought I'd try something new since I'm on holiday. Last week I actually went and visited this trick art museum in which I took a bunch of these really cool, I guess, trick art photos. And a couple of you have been asking me since I've been posting these lately, did you Photoshop them or are they like I don't know, graphically created or whatever, but no, it's actually just, I guess these trick art photos that have been edited post after taking the photo, obviously. And as you can see here, you can actually see the difference between the original. Oh, just a second now. As I said, I'm trying something new here. So, okay, here, can I, no? Okay. So yeah, you can see the difference here between previous and than the current form. So obviously here's the unedited form. You can clearly see the dimensions of the room in this picture. Oh crap, man, I thought I'd disable those. But anyway, yeah, as you can see here, you can see the dimensions of the room. What the flip, man? I thought I put that moon on there. What the heck? I don't know. I don't actually know how this works for until this evening. But it doesn't really work, does it? What the flip? Really can't seem to figure that one out. Anyway, so the dimensions in the room can obviously be seen in the original here. You can see that there's a floor, there's two different walls, and you can see the seam up there above my head of the two walls coming together. And then you can obviously see on the bottom left and the bottom right the floor meeting the walls there too. And obviously in the obviously in the post here, you can see I think my friends are having some sort of a political conversation here, which, yeah, I don't know. Well, I guess it's public now. However, here, wow, this is my first time doing something like this, and it's already farsing pretty great. But that's all right. I'm sure it'll add some comical value to this session. So, okay, so obviously I wanted to create a very unibody design, if you want to use that industrial term here. So obviously I wanted to take out all of the seams and everything like that, so you can see that, or you get the impression that this is one room, I guess, without any walls or anything. So this is one space. And as you can see here, for example, you can see that actually two of the steps here, which I'm standing on, two of them are actually physical steps, while the other steps there are a part of that painting. And from the previous, you can see the seam of those two. I wish I had a cursor or something here, but I'm using my phone, so obviously I don't. But you can see the seam of those two steps, which I've removed as well to get that feel that they're not actually not separated, that it's all the same. So here you can see it. So what I thought I'd do now is I thought I would actually step into editing a new photo. Okay, so I've chosen my picture here. There is actually another option for that picture too. However, I think I'm gonna go with the more serious one here. It kind of blends into the atmosphere here a little bit better. I mean, look at this. Look at this picture here. Like, I don't know if that's like a happy smile or is it just like a kind of like a creepy one. Like, you don't even know I'm looking at you, but here I am. Okay, let's not delve deeper into that. But anyway, I have chosen this picture here. So what I'll do is I'll actually, this is Snapseed right here. What I usually do is I first open the toolkit and I actually do a little bit of tuning for the image. Usually start with contrast. I really like Snapseed's way of doing things. So obviously you have your toolkit over here, so you see the little pen here, or the pencil, so you click on that and then you have all of your tools. So when it comes to your swiping, everything works horizontally and vertically. So vertically, when I swipe my finger, obviously I have the tools here within this tuning option, and then when I choose one, I just let go with the contrast, for example, and then I obviously go horizontally, so to the right or to the left. And starting off with the, man, I wish you you could put down that little bar in the bottom here. I don't know if you can, yeah, okay, I can't even flip it. Okay, great. So I start with the contrast here, and I find a nice little contrast so that everything kind of pops out nicely from the image. Okay, and I usually go back and forth a little bit to see if I'm actually making an improvement to the photo, or is it, because you do tend to get blind a little bit when you do this sort of editing. Okay, so here we won't probably won't benefit from too much. Yeah, I kind of go until the edge of when it becomes unnatural. For example, like right about here, if I go any further, it kind of ruins the picture, right? So I usually go to the border of that, so you get this more, I guess, dynamic photo, or that's how it feels. Brings out the 3D. The next thing I might do is a little bit of ambience. So usually I kind of try to see, now that we have the added contrast, if we can balance it out by bringing it a little bit of ambience. So, okay, I don't know if we're doing any benefits here to anybody. Okay, here I think a little bit of ambience here is fine. A lot of people might have very differing opinions to what I'm doing. Obviously, since we now have focus on this guy right here reading Jordan Peterson's 12 Rules for Life, we do want to highlight that a little bit. So I'm trying to edit this in mind, or mindful of the fact that I'm going to have to catch the viewer's focus on that, because it's on the side. It's kind of hard to do that, but I guess we'll do that with a vignette effect in the end. Okay, so contrast, ambience, and a little bit of shadow tuning. Yeah, probably gonna keep it somewhere around there, just a little bit. I think when it comes to a lot of people maybe looking at this, they might think like, man, you're doing a lot of things just to do a little bit of tuning to a photo. But to me, and some people might say, well, like, this is very unnatural and everything like that, but for me, I view this like as a musician too. I love editing whatever I can. Like, I love editing my drum track, vocals, because I have a vision in my mind of what I want it to look like, and through technology these days you can easily achieve that. Obviously you have to learn how to do that, but because of this, I see this process of editing as a very pivotal part of the creative process itself. I really like it. Okay, so now we have, I don't know, maybe a little bit too much brightness, so let's drop that down a little bit. By the way, this might not be the best photo out there, just to begin with, so I don't know what the end product will be. And I guess that's a part of the appeal of what I'm doing here too. You never know what the end process is going to look like. So at the end, I usually do see if my contrast is on point or not with all the other edits I've done. Okay, I think the balance of ambience and all of that is good. Okay, I guess that's fine for now. Let's try to zoom in on the photo. Okay, looks pretty decent. Like, for example, here on this photo, it is a tad bit grainy on my face, so I don't know how well the photographers there were actually employees, so I don't know how well that actually worked out. But okay, so the next thing I might do is go in for some retouching. So the healing tool obviously lets me get rid of all of these seams, and usually I try to dig pretty deep here. You can also just tap, or you can swipe. Okay, man, I'm really not succeeding here. So let's try that. Okay, that actually looks kind of nice. So with this retouching tool, I usually have to go in and out a couple of times to see how I can get rid of, okay, there we go, rid of the seam the best. So you really need to usually go quite deep into the photo, okay? And I really love the fact that in Snapseed, you can actually go back and forth with your edit, so you can actually see whether what you've done is good or not. And here, this really does require quite a bit of patience here. And then I usually go out and break. As you can see now, I got the sharp edge out, but I still do have to kind of break that pattern there. I wonder how I'm able to do that. It's a bit of trial and error, to be honest. So I do have to go a little bit out of the image to break that seam. Oh man. And when you do a little bit too much of this retouching, I guess you do at some point create this unnatural feel. So you got to be careful with that. It's a lot of trial and error. Man, this is actually a bit challenging. I don't know if it's just the pressure of the microphone being on, but usually I'm just quite immersed in this process. And here, obviously, you can see every now and then your progress too. This retouching basically scans around the area and it sees any similarities, or it tries to gather some information from around what you're tapping or swiping. So here, man, I really don't like these dark spots though. Yep, no, not really. So you really do have to kind of try different sizes and different things here. Man, yeah, that really does look a bit unrealistic still. Okay, so just for time's sake, I think I'm gonna be satisfied with that. As you can see, as you can see, that's the difference there. I wonder if, yeah, no, I think that's fine. See how smart it is? Like, that's really awesome. Like, see that? Just fix that little thing there. And obviously, when you look at it, like, I can see what I've done, like in this area, for example. I can see that it has these marks of me retouching it, but at the same time the viewer won't really see it. And we'll try this or tie this together later. Here there is another seam right here in the middle of the photo here, as you can see. We're gonna try to hide that. Actually, wow, that was wow, that's actually really good. Wow, like obviously I know that it's like, if you look at it closely, like it's a straight copy of what's over here, but man, that's awesome. It really does hide the seam here. Flip, dude. Okay, that wasn't such a success. Okay, and I don't like duplicates like this, so if there's a duplicate that obvious, I'm gonna try to hide it like this. There we go. All right, I think, and as you can see, like even here, you can see the little distortion here that I created, but at the same time it is a lot better than the original, and you won't really be able to notice that if you don't know about the editing process I've done. And so we'll just go ahead and continue here. Man, that's beautiful. What the flip? Like that's seriously awesome. Let's see if how we can get rid of this little seam here. So obviously a lot of other people wouldn't be this perfectionistic, I might say, when it comes to these photos, but I am quite, I really do enjoy the process. Let's just say that. Like, I don't really feel like this is a drag doing all of this. I really do enjoy this process of editing, and maybe it has a little bit to do with a person's level of neuroticism, because I guess that trait for me is significant enough, let's just say, significant enough for me to enjoy something as, should I say menial as this? Man, this is a difficult one right here. Okay, so I see, like, even here, like, I do really have to go deeper and try different sizes to see whether I can create this illusion of, or just breaking the walls. Wow, that's quite a Christian term. Okay, wow, like look at that. Like I'm really destroying. Yeah. Man, that's awesome. The seam is really broken there. I think we might even just leave it at that. There's a little bit of seam there left. Okay, I don't like that. It's a bit too much. Okay, I think we broke it. I think that's actually awesome. I mean, it looks a bit more round, like a natural seabed might be. Okay, here's a tricky part right here. I think that actually was pretty good. There's a lot of like camouflage being added here. Like you won't even notice it when you aren't familiar with the editing process. I mean, just by looking at a photo that's more random to you. Obviously you haven't seen the editing process, so it's going to be a bit different. Okay, this is a bit tricky. Let's just go back a little bit. All right, and now we got to figure out how to. Okay, well that did do the trick there, I think. And then... So when you're editing photos, you're obviously adding a lot of different layers. Okay, so here, yeah, you can see that we've broken the seams, which really does bring the photo together a lot. I don't know if I'm happy with that little section there. So let's make the circle here a little bit bigger. Just do that. I think that's a bit better, actually. So we can also compare. Yeah, I like that. Man, this technology is just awesome. I gotta give it out to obviously a lot of different apps have. Man, did you see that? That's awesome. So they had these weird spotlights on the walls, and it really, I don't know why they would do that. Like, it really does destroy the feeling of you actually being inside. You can clearly see that it's a photo because the lights do reflect on the wall. But here, man, I just duplicated the fish there with just one click, and then I'm just going to edit out these little imperfections here to make it more natural. Man, that really made a huge difference, bro. Like, I really didn't think it would be that easy, but see? Mm-hmm. Oh, yay. All right, so we got that done, the upper right corner, and now we're going to move on to the upper left corner, which has this weird reflection as well. And see, with just one click, I was able to kind of break it too. Yeah, like, I don't know, I guess a lot of this editing is just to, for me, I'm trying to remove distractions, should I say, in order for a person who's looking at the photo to be able to be like, okay, well, I am now immersed in this photo. Like, wow, like there's no distractions, basically. Like, for example, like if we do this and you look at the top left or the top right corner, you cannot immerse yourself into the actual image because you're like, oh, well, it's just a photo of a wall. Okay, cool. But when you go, you know, you're more like, wow, like how did this, wow, like what the heck? Like there's no different surfaces or anything like that. It looks like one photo. Like, how did they do this? You actually get immersed more so into the photo. Okay, so I think we are done with the big parts here. And obviously, again, since we're on the topic of distractions, there are a lot of these little, I mean, it's paint on the wall, so there's a lot of these little imperfections here. And so I usually try to get rid of those little imperfections, which usually, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not really good. Sometimes you're basically making it worse. I mean, even these, like, who are going to notice these? But again, the neuroticism in me says, well, this is so much fun, so why don't we just try a little bit of that? Okay, I think we're slowly progressing a little bit, at least. I just really like to fix these little details. When you do that, man, it's annoying when it does these duplications. There we go. Okay, I don't really like that. Oh, crap. That's really difficult. Okay, maybe that's better. So again, yeah, well, I don't know if that's any better, but again, like you do have to see a little bit to the future too, because you know which layers you're going to add later, and which is going to be fixed at a later phase. So you don't have to worry about anything too much. I think maybe this type of video would be really nice for people who are kind of OCD, maybe like myself, because you know that meme where that OCD guy sees something that's absolutely perfect, and they're kind of like touching their cheeks like, oh my gosh, this is perfect. Is that a fish or is that a dent on the wall? No, it's not a dent. Actually, this wall is quite nice, so I'm assuming it's probably quite more so of a new painting. But see these little details here. I hope some people will appreciate this attention to the detail. Okay, I don't really think I'm seeing too many. Even these little dents, like, they're not really, I think they're part of the artistic view someone had with this. Usually you see it better on the blacks or the darker spots, and I think it's pretty concise. So I could go ahead, I could go ahead and edit this little border here too, but I wonder if I want to. Okay. There. Yeah, I don't think it's actually adding any value. Because, I mean, like, you could still think... So I guess this is kind of like a form of storytelling, right? Like, you do want the person to be immersed in the story. You want to be telling through that picture. And whatever distracts from that story, you basically want to remove. So I'd say that is what photo editing is about. According to your own artistic vision. Okay. I think when it comes to the retouching part, we're about to be done here. All right. Now, I'm trying to get that magical kind of feel. So we can try the glamour glow. Oh, no, actually, let's try the portrait first, because that'll actually... Okay, let's try harder. It'll try to find a face, basically, within the image. And, yep, there it is. See, I just had to keep trying, like life is usually. You just kind of have to keep trying until you get it. Okay, so I'm kind of like scrolling through these ready-made templates first, and I guess I'm starting, like, I like this combo 2 the most. It really brings focus to the person. I think it's a bit too exaggerated, so now, again, vertically, actually, we're gonna go and tone it down a little bit, or should we actually? Actually, no, I think it's just, okay, it is the spotlight there. I don't think it's too bad. I mean, when you do a lot of this, right, it does kind of look exaggerated, but I don't think it's anything to worry about when we go deeper. And remember the graininess of the face. I think we can edit that out a little bit if we want to. Not that a lot of people probably, well, I don't know, maybe some people might be zooming in on the picture, but really we're trying to see what the face looks from this distance, because this is where most people are going to be looking at the photo. I don't know if that adds any value. Well, I think a little bit maybe. Okay, so it smooths it out just a little bit. Eye clarity just kind of pops out the eyes, but since my eyes are kind of pointing backwards, there's not really any benefit to this. I don't really see any difference there. Okay, and then, and then we can see again the situation here. So the spotlight. Yeah, I don't want it to be too dark, I guess. And again, a lot of people might, like, have shown this editing process just live to some people, and they're like, well, I kind of like the original more. And that's fine. I mean, everyone would probably do it a bit differently, according to their own artistic view. Okay, I'm starting to like it. Let's try this glamour glow effect. It can sometimes bring this dreamy view. Okay, let's not go to the... Okay, first I adjust the glow part. That usually ties in the image a little bit, but too much is usually too much. It brings this dreamy effect to the image, and now obviously this saturation has been toned down, so let's bring that up a little bit to pop out those colors. Yep, so if there's any imperfections in the image, like for example this turtle, you can see it kind of smooths it out just that little bit to make it seem more realistic, I guess. Or I don't know, realistic, but less imperfect, let's say. Okay, so I kind of like that. And try not to look at the meter up there too much. Just look at the image while you slide your finger and see where you like it most. I like that. And then warmth. I usually don't touch that too much, but do I like the blues more? Do I like the warms more? Again, I'm trying not to be looking at the meter up there, but rather the photo. Yep, I think we're all right there. And again, the end result, you just kind of have to see whether it is actually any better or not. Also, a little side note, I guess, is the fact that at any point you can actually access any of these layers by pressing View Edits. And then you can see the layers here, and you can actually go and tune them whenever the heck you want. So that's awesome. So if there's anything wrong with my tuning or healing, I want to add some points here, I can press that one on the right there, which I won't right now. Actually, I will, because I saw some distraction. So I'll press on that little thing, and then I can access that part. See here, there's a little, I don't know, seam maybe between some elements in the wall, but I do want to remove that. And then that little dent, I think, on the wall. Yep, see that? Awesome. Now we got that out of the way. All right, and we'll press done, and we can move onwards again. So, as you can see, the text is blurred just a tad bit. I don't know, that's really a small thing, but here, the middle part here is actually really helpful. So you can actually go, and I'm going to press on the bottom left here. So now with the, as you can see from the middle here, I have chosen 0 to apply 0 of the previous effects. So now I can apply 0. Okay, I can apply 0 effect, for example, to, so all the red means 100% effect, and now I can add a 0% effect to this part right here. So this layer, which I've done, won't affect that part whatsoever. So that's actually really cool. And again, you won't really see like any difference in what I just did, but that's kind of nice. All right. I just like the fact that, well, OCD coupled with you being a control freak really gives you the ability to kind of create whatever you want the image to look like again. All right, and see here, we can see the before and after. I think at the end, I'm going to try a little bit of vintage, the vintage here. The problem here, though, is that it actually adds a bit more. Man, I'm really bugged by the fact that this covers so much of the image. But see here, I'm not really seeing a lot of added value, but the vignette, I think, is messing a lot of it up. So if we delete or remove that, because we're going to add that later to be on the actual subject, which is obviously the merman right here, reading the 12 Rules for Life by Jordan B. Peterson. Okay, so I wonder which one is the best here. I usually gravitate towards the 8 here, but okay, whatever. I'll just go here, and then I'll do the style strength. Well, I like the fact that it pops out again, I guess. Pops out a little bit of the subject. However, I might try this. So, even at 0, it does add a little bit of the effect. I don't know if we want that, but okay. So let's add a little bit of brightness. Vignette. Maybe we won't want that. Okay, so we'll press done, and I don't really like the full effect of that, so I'll go back and view edits, and then go back to the layers and vintage and to the middle one again, so we can start applying the effect where we want it to go. I'm gonna just start removing it from all around because I don't really like what it's done there, and I'll just keep deleting it until I'm satisfied. So I kind of like when it's applied just to the focus here. So here you can see that it pops. Maybe, is that a little bit too much maybe? So I can also adjust just a little bit of the effect here. So I'm going to adjust so that it's not that aggressive on the sides, because I kind of like the edges to be a bit more bright, but not that much. Okay, I really like that actually. That looks nice to me. To me, I do want to emphasize that it looks nice to me. All right, I really like that, man. That's awesome. And now the final touch I usually do. Okay, 2 parts. So firstly, the brush here. See the brush tool? You can do dodge and burn, exposure, temperature, and saturation. You can saturate the parts. For example, if I want my shirt to be saturated just a little bit, see the flowers, I want them to pop out just a little bit. I love this little eye tool on the top right, bottom right, sorry. you can see where you've applied the effect. So we'll do that a little bit there. And again, you can adjust the brush size by zooming, so pinching in and pinching out. I kind of want to emphasize that 12 rules so it pops out a little bit. I don't know, maybe that's a bit too much. Yeah. So you can erase it too. So here, see? Boom. Erasing it. Boom, boom, boom. Man, and imagine this is just on your phone. Like, isn't that crazy? What else do I want to pop out? Not really much outside of just this little circle because, well, it's so saturated already. It almost feels like, now I got an interesting idea actually. Let's try this. I usually don't do this, but white balance. Is there any black and white effect? Black and white. There we go. Okay, so let's see which I like the most. Can adjust the grain. There, contrast, too much contrast, I think. There, and now I'm looking at everything else except for my face because I'm actually going to delete the effect right after. Or what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this. So I'm going to add, I'm going to access the layer. I'm going to go back to the black and white and the brush tool here in the middle. And then I'm going to go here again. I'm just going to add a little bit of the black and white effect to make the saturation a bit less, I'd like to say. Oh, wait. Okay, well, okay, let's just proceed with this. Okay, let's just paint the whole picture first and then go 0 on just the area I want to really highlight. Okay, so let's see what we changed. Yeah, see? So now the saturation is a bit gone. Does that really do what I want it to do, though? I really like that floor, though, to be nicely colored. Okay, well, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I think it clears up the picture just a little bit. So as you can see what it does there, it changes the around or the surrounding of that focus a little bit. And finally, we'll add a vignette which can be aimed at a specific point, and also the area can be adjusted as such here. Okay, and now I can do the outer brightness just a tad bit less bright. Again, I'm not really sure if this adds the effect that I'm looking for. Inner brightness. Yeah, I can just add a little bit of inner brightness. Does that really add into the photo or no? Yeah, I don't like this. I'll just delete it. And now, yeah, I think this might be a bit better now that I've deleted the... So now we do have those beautiful colors everywhere, but I can adjust it with the vignette. Maybe I'll even try to go in deep like that. Don't want to ruin the rest of the picture though, but just add that little bit of focus to the area there. Okay, so I guess the original image is right here, and then the vignette added to it. Guess there's a little bit of change. I don't know. I think it's better. That's nice. And I guess on like Instagram or whatever, you can add a little bit of filters too. Let's export it right now. Open Instagram. Okay. Now we're in portrait mode. Let's see if we can add any value to this photo. No, definitely not. No. Well, okay, this is the closest thing to being nice. I guess this ties the photo together a bit. If we adjust that a little bit, I wonder... Okay, well, that might be okay. It just ties in the photo just that little bit. Apparently, when you add a little bit of brightness on to the photos, they pop out on the Instagram feed a little bit better. Okay, next. All right, let's add a caption to it. There, paste, boom. Taking a moment to read in the most interesting places can be quite liberating. Reading requires being present, and being present makes you feel alive. Take a break, grab a book, and read in the most interesting places. Thank you so much, everybody. Here you can see a recap of the before, after. Hope you've enjoyed the process here. Hope you've learned a little bit. And yeah, catch you in the next one. If there ever will be a next one. Yeah, give me some feedback. If you liked it, leave a like, comment, tell me if this was at all helpful or uplifting. If yes, I might just drop a new one sometime soon. Okay. See you, everybody. Peace.